Hi students, how's it going? Welcome to week 15. We have 2 more weeks left, that's just about it. And I'm really excited about this week because it's something I'm really passionate about and something that has been coming up a lot for me recently. So you guys know that I've been trying to track my diet and perform an experiment on my own body using myself as a test subject. And through doing this, have started quite a few conversations where I might have more people for my experiment. Always better to have a bigger sample size. But here was my initial data collection, and it had the effect of making me feel more mindful of my food habits, and so I was able to track it. And you can see kind of the spirals is where I had some cravings. I did pretty well, honestly. And I could see how much I snacked and how much sugar I was eating. And that is why this week when we're talking all about, we're going into the nutrition lab, I feel like this is pretty interesting. This was born out of an idea to test out my gut, and I want to show off this really amazing piece of artwork from my friend Amy. So this is the gut. If you're super observant, you might notice in my room I also have the heart, which is really cool. So the gut is host to over 1 trillion bacterial cells. That's more than we have in our bodies. And they form a community of organisms that help break down your food, as well as just line the inside of your gut. It's also been some studies that they produce a lot of the serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter, helps your brain fire. Also called like the happy hormone. So that brings us to our brain. Okay, so here's our brain. And in this whole study of trying to cut back on the amount of sugar that I have, I've realized how important glucose is to your brain. So your brain metabolizes or breaks down, uses glucose primarily. And so in trying to reduce the amount of sugar that I'm eating, it's important to know that you still need to have some sort of fuel for your brain. And so that's like basically where this comes into having a healthy or balanced diet is oftentimes going to be the most important thing that you can do for yourself. However, I was talking to a student and they started talking about the keto diet, and so maybe you guys have heard of ketosis. Or the keto diet. It's basically trying to obtain a state in your body where you use fat over sugar. You basically don't have any sugar, so your body resorts to burning fat, and it has to produce these particular things called ketones, which happens, if you remember back to the chemistry lesson, they didn't talk about that at all, but basically your body is just trying to produce ATP so all of your cells can function. So, I sent my fecal sample in, my poo sample, and I'm waiting to see what my baseline is, my normal diet, what I observed was happening. And then I really am going to go even harder at this diet thing almost with a soft gaze, because I don't want to get to the point of like things feeling weird about my diet. I don't think at any point, if you're really super obsessing about the food that you eat, I don't think that can be healthy either for mindset. So, all that to say, here we go. I'm going to show you what I have upgraded to. So, I'm trying to now track my food, but I'm going to do it in an Excel spreadsheet. And I am in initial planning stages right now, just trying to figure out how this is all going to work, because I'm coming into some issues. Imagine I want to know exactly how many calories I get in a day. Well, I better know exactly what I eat. So on Saturday I was trying this out. It was helpful because I was trying to fast, which means not eat a lot of food. And so I actually was measuring out the amount of things I ate. Like, so I counted my nuts. I counted how many almonds I was eating, and that was kind of wild. And then I had to go and look it up. So I was doing a lot of research, and I figured out that 24 almonds is 1 ounce, 1 serving size, 130 calories, 6 grams of protein, 13 grams of unsaturated fat, and maybe in our lesson we'll get into unsaturated versus saturated fat. Carbs, and then so like what other vitamins are there. And so my idea here is to go through, and every time I have one of these foods, build up this common foods and nutrition facts sheet. So I eat a lot of raisins, although I guess now I probably won't. But then eggs, I could see like what's one egg. For some reason, I just know this off the top of my head. It has 6 grams of protein. 6 G's. Okay. So, then as you guys are tracking your food for the week, so do it to the best of your ability, because we're going to come on Friday and take a look at your diets in groups. And you have nothing to, there's no shame around it. There's no judgment. It's all curiosity and increasing our awareness around basically our number one relationship, which is with food. Okay, so here we go. We can analyze a little bit of our class's response. You guys went out and did the sugar survey. So found out that most of us eat, I don't know, what do you think? Where do we eat the most sugar? Is it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Seems like potentially afternoon snack, and then evening or before bed. Those seem to be the most times that we consume sugar. And then I thought it was kind of interesting to go through some of these comments. Some people can go without it. Some people don't read labels. I would encourage you this week just to tune in and read the labels. Oftentimes you guys are under the influence of what your parents buy for food, but you can have an influence over that too, especially just opening up a conversation. I think that's really important. And then we asked about our relationship with meat. Basically here now shifting to a keto diet, a lot of fat from animals is going to be important. So I'm going to open up my diet to have butter and potentially some animal fat, chicken, beef, pork, milk, dairy, eggs. Of course, eggs. I love eggs anyway. Seems like out of 11 of us, we mostly eat meat at dinner. Always. So a good chunk of us always eat meat at dinner, about a quarter. And then a few of us are vegetarian. 1 out of 11, so probably, yeah, 1 person. And then the reason being ecological, environmental, all of the above, moral, and being Catholic. Okay, so religious, oftentimes religions do say something about what you can eat, what you can't eat, which is interesting. Okay, and then what are your thoughts on eating meat? And I thought this was, I don't know, whoever put this, it's frickin' frog looking good. Obviously, a lot of us really like the taste of meat. I like this. It's tastes good and it begins a cycle for one and for all, and for all and for on. And so yeah, like as we eat meat, think about where we are at in the food web. Okay, and then tracking back, I would encourage you to take this survey as well, this exercise survey, just to figure out how physically active are you. Tune in, many times a week do you work out? And I think both the people who are responding to this are in the fitness fundamentals class, which is cool, or ASU PD. But on online school, how much are you being physically active? That's what I want to know. Okay, well, awesome. So this is just a primer and intro to our lessons. Oh, I wanted to share some other really cool resources I have. If we were in class together, we would take a look at. But how food works. This is a really cool infographic. So I think maybe an alternate lesson will be to create one of these for food for the nutrition lab, if you're into doing those alternate lessons. And there's the heart. I actually just got another person who wants to speak to the class who used to build fake hearts. And here we have milk. Milk is awesome. Milk used to be drank warm. Did you guys know that? I just learned that. And it's kind of a delicacy. Fat, a couple other tidbits. Fat comes from the word fertile, which means like rich, right? Things that are rich. And so a lot of times I think we demonize fat, but in looking to go into this keto diet where you're basically just eating fat, I've started to think about that relationship between fat and then sugar and sweetness. And sometimes when we crave sweetness, what we really want is to notice the sweetness in life. So my challenge for you is to go out and smell the roses, smell the flowers. They're starting to bloom, which is really, really cool. And, the final recommendation, change where you're working. So if you're normally working in your room, I have like, I'll show you. I just set up this table out here. So now I can work outside. It's pretty fun. There's Coyote. Say hi, Coyote. All right, I'm excited to see you guys on Friday. We have our live speaker, Julia, who was a NASA NASA intern working in wearable technologies. So we're really I hope she's going to talk a lot about merging the left side of your brain and the right side, getting like whole brained in here, art and science, using them both together. Should be a really interesting discussion. 10 a.m. office hours, live lesson, 11 a.m. Can't wait to see you all there. Bye-bye.